Oh, Jen Psaki. Ain't she great, guys? Like, she goes out there every single day and doesn't answer a single goddamn question from the press corps. Okay? Even when pressed, she'll just flippantly remark something retarded that would normally get, a regular press secretary roasted by the media, but instead, no, we'll just paint her as some sort of a savior, and some outlets will fairly cover her, and just like the Daily Mail has right here. Because the White House sent out one of the most tone-deaf things they have, at least in the past week. The cost of the 4th of July cookout in 2021 is down 16 cents from last year. Fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? Planning a cookout this year? Catch up on the news. Fuck off. According to the Farm Bureau, the cost for 4th of July barbecue, you won't even put Independence Day. You won't even have a goddamn common courtesy of that. But yes, you'll call it a barbecue here, but then in the picture, because you guys are totally racists and you just want to go ahead and adopt black culture, you want to call it a cookout. Because what? Readings for whites and pictures are for the kids that are just as smart and just as capable as white kids. Fucking dog shit people. It's a fact you must hear? Sure. Hot dog. The Biden economic plan is working. Really, bro? Inflation from May 2020 to May 2021. Bacon up 14%. Bananas 3. Bread 7. Coffee 3. Milk 8. Oranges 8. Gasoline 33%. Oranges 8. Electricity 4. Plan's fucking working, huh? But what did Psaki have to say about this in her cunty tone that only she can put across? White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki tried to defend the White House tweet on Friday that boasted how President Biden's economic policies would be saving Americans 16 cents on traditional items for the 4th of July barbecue or the cookout. Planning a cookout this year? Catch up on the news. There's the rest of the tweet. The tweet was accompanied by a GIF laying out price changes on select food items. The savings for the entire meal came to just 16 cents. Who could possibly give a shit? Remember, if a $1,000 tax cut was just mere crumbs, according to Nancy Pelosi, what is 16 cents? I'll just ask. Never get an answer. So we'll continue on. The tweet was picked up by Fox News senior White House correspondent and anybody with fucking common sense, but Peter Doocy, who attempted to get a feel from the administration's thinking behind touting such a minuscule saving. The official White House account tweeted the cost of the 4th of July cookout is down 16% from last year. 16%, Doocy began. Does the White House think that 16% off a barbecue has more of an impact on people's lives than gas being $1 more than the same time last year? AAA reported the national average price of a gallon of regular gas has risen by $3. Has risen to $3.12. But don't worry, if you live in California, you can pay upwards of $7. The highest it's been on Independence Day since the weekend of 2014. Yes, a return to normalcy, my friends. There has been a reduction in some of the costs of key components of a 4th of July barbecue. That was what the tweet was noting. She began before spiraling into flippancy. No, not Jen Psaki. She's not known for that. I would say if you don't like hot dogs, you may not care about the reduction in costs. You don't have to like hot dogs. I bet you she does, and we know where she could probably keep an entire pack or 5. Because she went straight on to the next topic. At least Trump gets to mock her. Psaki as the press secretary with the very, very red hair. You get it? She's a communist. Former President Donald Trump mocked President Joe Biden's press secretary Jen Psaki Saturday, calling her the press secretary with the extremely red hair. I love it when he does this stuff. Pointed it out when he did the exact same stuff to Chrissy Teigen, calling her John Legend's wife. Nasty wife, I think it was. Just these people who desperately want to be famous without having to do actually anything in order to achieve that fame. Just undermine their accomplishments. It's fucking classic Trump 101. The former president recalled that when Psaki dismissed a question about Space Force, the branch of the military created during his administration, I remember that. She got decimated by everyone when she laughed because we need Space Force, Trump said during a campaign rally in Ohio. Another campaign rally will be tonight, as well, and a couple of these videos should be out by then, and I think I'll probably partake in watching that, seeing what Trump's up to, mostly because the new social media platform that he's, I guess, tangentially linked to has been set up, and his username's being held, and there's supposed to be a formal release on Monday to coincide with, I'm sorry, that would be tomorrow, Independence Day, so I don't know. And then also saying formally that he's made up his mind about running in 2024, so I feel like there's going to be some news to pop off about that, so I'll be paying attention. But yeah, enough about her ugly mug. Let's talk about Joe motherfucking Biden, shall we? Biden to educators. Let's see if you can point out the hilarious point on this. Our children are the kite strings upon which our national ambitions are lifted aloft, and your profession helps them believe they can do anything. So what's the problem with that analogy? Okay, time's up. Okay, kite strings keep kites tied to the ground. You want kids to succeed. You don't want to put anything in front of them. You want them to flourish and prosper. He's a fucking idiot, folks. He's a fucking incompetent boob. And he's so incompetent, in fact, he can't be asked to go to the Olympics. Yep. And I would be a lot less annoyed by this story if he wasn't sending his wife. He could send Kamala. She's not going to the border anytime soon. She's already done that. She's been to the border plenty of times. Has she been to Japan, though? She could have crossed that one off of her bucket list. No, the First Lady, somebody who's not elected to represent the United States of America in any capacity, is going to be going to a place of very high significance to meet with many world leaders. And this is the second time that the White House has disrespected the Prime Minister of Japan. You remember Biden was supposed to come down and meet him when he made the trip to the White House back in, what was that, April or May? But then he kept him waiting 45 minutes, and then they met upstairs for the first time when everybody was wearing 2 masks because it was the style at the time. And now, yeah, he's not even going to go to the Olympics. Good one, Joe. First Lady Jill Biden is tipped to visit Japan for the Tokyo Olympics on a solo trip in place of President Joe Biden, the Yomiuri Shimbun Daily reported Sunday. 2 countries are seeking ways for the president's wife to attend the opening ceremony set for July 23rd, as well as meet with Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga and other senior diplomatic officials during her stay, according to the source cited by the outlet. The Yomiuri Shimbun reports the lone dispatch of Jill Biden as regarded as a single honor for the host that sends a message of importance of a relationship with Japan. Yep, it does. Really does when you compare and contrast who else is going to be there. French President Emmanuel Macron, whose country will host the 2024 Paris Olympics and Paralympics, will also be in attendance. This is not the first time the First Lady has stepped out on the public sphere of her husband or played a part in day-to-day political engagement with the public. You guys remember there was a tweet out there that she was sitting behind the desk in Air Force One saying that she was going to be prepping for the G7 summit because Biden's pills hadn't kicked in. And last but not least, what the hell is to come with the fact that Joe Biden, is he going to make it to 2024? But he seems to think that he's going to be a 2-term president. Nobody else alive seems to hold the exact same position. So who's going to be the likely Democratic nominee? Okay, their bench isn't very deep, and the only one who could immediately step forward into that position would in fact be Kamala Harris. And nobody likes her. Nobody likes her. It was very obvious from the presidential primaries in 2020, and it will be the exact same thing because she's incompetent, okay? She's not likable, doesn't have a history of success. In fact, her history is better left unsaid. And really, the Democrats don't have anybody else to run, so they better rehab her image quickly. Because as soon as Joe Biden pops up on a podium, he can start whispering and doing fucking shadow puppets and wondering if the war's going to be over by fucking Christmas. They're going to have to plop in America's wine mom as soon as possible. And we talked about the dissension when it was first reported, and it seems to be true. White House stands by Kamala Harris and insists she has a very challenging job amid claims Biden officials think she would lose any Republican or lose to any Republican in 2024, including Trump, after aides claim they treated her like shit. Yeah, let's read a little bit of this. Amid defenses and recriminations following reports of dysfunction in the office, the Vice President Kamala Harris is a concern among some Democrats that a political figure most prominently positioned to succeed Biden isn't up to the task. Some Democrats fear that Harris, despite being in the public eye as Biden's partner for 4 years as a senator from California, might lack the ability to keep the White House. Yeah, because there's only so many media fluff pieces as, oh, aren't her Tims just so great? And isn't it wonderful she went down to the border, to El Paso, and said absolutely fucking nothing? Or she wrote a child's book that gets handed out at the border in the different detention camps. Isn't that great? I know it was only one book, but whatever. It's still fucking no less disgusting, but it is a good way to deter any illegal immigrants. A Democratic operative told Axios, which ran an explosive story and drew furious pushback Friday, that the issue isn't, oh no, our heir apparent is fucking up. Maybe she shouldn't be the heir apparent. Congratulations! Hillary Clinton's astroturfed nominee for Joe Biden. Vice President is blowing up in everyone's face. Who could have possibly seen that one coming? Of particular concern is whether Harris, who's struggled to control the narrative on border issues Biden put in her portfolio, would be able to resemble the coalition that drove Biden to victory in 2020. Yeah, but I've been told that she ticks all the right boxes, therefore she would succeed by default. Oh, no. Oh, when put to the masses, nobody believes in that shit. I understand. A new Pew analysis of the 2020 election and polling notes that Biden made gains among men. Sure he did. If you want to call that the gains that he made among the men that voted for him genetically viable, you go ahead. Even though younger and minority voters were critical to his primary and overall win. Really? Because I seem to think that he lost a whole bunch of states that normally the Democrat primary winner would normally get, like, California, Iowa, or even after the first Super Tuesday, it wasn't even looking good for Joe. It didn't start to turn around until a bunch of people conspicuously started to drop off, like Klobuchar and Warren. No, okay. That just must be my imagination. White voters without a college degree were critical to Trump's victory in 2016 when he won the group by 64 to 28. In 2018, Democrats were able to gain some ground, with these voters earning 36% of the white vote, non-college vote to Republicans 61%. So they gain more independence. Okay, cool. And it's a fucking midterms. Fewer people vote. More Republicans in general vote. So that's a way to skew your numbers, but okay. In 2020, Biden roughly maintained Democrats' 2018 share among the group. Okay, but I thought he was the most popular president ever. Therefore, come on, all of those numbers should have been up. Improving upon Clinton's 2016 horribly unlikable performance by receiving the votes of 33%. So still down from 2018. Oh man. Start to dig into these numbers, boy do things ever get sketchy. But Trump's share of the vote among this group, who represented 42% of the total electorate, was nearly identical to his vote share in 2016 of 65%. Okay, that's probably as many numbers as we can go through on YouTube because things are starting to not add up. And Kamala Harris, if you remember in the primaries, drew negative sub 1 fucking full percent. She's not popular. People don't like her. People are fleeing her camp, and the way the media is reporting on this, they're trying to set themselves up in case the unthinkable thing happens. She becomes the 47th president, and the identity politics rope is getting stretched ever so tightly, and you're starting to hear a couple of those little spindles start to snap. You'll love to see it, and it couldn't happen to a nicer lady and a more competent administration. With that said, I thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.